Welcome back to GMQC at 11. I think we got almost a dozen questions, so we're going to try to get through some of these. Okay. Joe Bunt is asking, I have old rhubarb bed with spindy stalks. How do I rejuvenate them?
There again, it's a matter of getting some organic fertilizer on it and make sure, two things. One, get the grass and weeds away from it and make sure you're watering it in August and September. That's when the spring crop is determined.
All right, Cindy, my strawberries are not coming back as good this year. We thinned them out last year. What do I do to make them healthy?
Okay, strawberries get fertilized June after the first heavy harvest, and of course, get in there and try and remove some of the weeds. You don't want competition for the food that you're going to put down.
All right, Tom is asking, can you get a chlamydia started from a cutting?
Clematis are all grown from cuttings. If you're trying to do it at home, you take a long stem, bend it down to the ground, bury the stem at a leaf node in the ground, put a rock on it. Over a period of time, that node will go ahead and make roots. It's going to take a lot of time, unfortunately.
All right, Linda Ryan, my red bud tree didn't have many red buds, but it does have green leaves. What does it need?
Okay, there again, it could be just the winter, although I have seen some amazing red buds so far this spring. Boy, I'm going to sound like a broken record. If we keep having these long, dry falls, invest water. That's the best you can do.
Okay, we have Cheryl who's asking, should my perennials be up some by now?
Most perennials. We've got some laggards out there, which would be the butterfly bush, the butterfly weed, and perennial hibiscus, but most everybody else should be peaking above the ground by now.
All right, Tim, I have 2 huge anthills in my lawn. I've had them in the past, but never this bad. What's the best way to get rid of them? They just seem to relocate.
Well, the thing is that with ants, what you need to do is go out and shop for a good ant bait. What you want to do is put a bait out that the ants eat and take back into the nest to polish the nest off.
Rick Johnson is asking, is it time to fertilize the fruit trees and bushes yet?
Oh, definitely, definitely. It is time to get out there and do your spring fertilizations.
All right, Tina asks, my orchid leaves are turning reddish brown on the tips and then dying. What do I need to do?
Ooh, I would worry about the watering a little bit. Reddish brown tells me that maybe it's getting a little bit too much water. Orchids can let it dry out just a little bit between waterings, and do make sure you're fertilizing it at every watering according to the directions on the label. And orchids take special fertilizer. Make sure it says orchids.
Linda Ryan has a question. My lilac bush only has 4 blooms, but it had bloomed in October. What does it need?
Okay, you did lose some bloom to last fall's flowers, but it should have bloomed out very well. When it is done blooming this year, as soon as those flowers fade, go over the whole bush and cut off the flowers and about 2 inches of stem below the flowers. Help reinvigorate the bush.
All right, let's see. Yes, okay. When can I move clematis?
Clematis, that's a September, October move, not now.
All right.
What is the best product to use for creeping Charlie in my lawn?
Well, I personally like the weed-free zone. We can use it earlier in the season when the temperatures are still cool, and you can start applying it as soon as you see a little bit of new growth on Charlie.
All right, and last question for today. My rhubarb is starting to bolt. What can I do? Fertilize? Question mark.
Well, like any perennial crop, you should be putting down some organic fertilizer, and yes, make sure that if the second you can tell that it's a flower and not a leaf, off with its head.
All right, and with that, I think that's a perfect place to end it. Thank you so much for joining us, as always, Craig. And if we didn't get to your question, so sorry about that. Make sure you tune in next week. You can ask again. We got Craig here every Wednesday.
We got through as many as we could. Thank you so much, Craig. Appreciate you.